What's up, my good people? I'm Joey Young, and today I want to talk about how to make some good quality decisions. How can we balance taking on new opportunities in our lives versus staying focused and staying on track with what we've already got going on? I think that's a tough thing to balance, and I think it's worth talking about and kind of discussing how we can make better quality decisions about opportunities that we have. You know, we get a lot of information flowing at us these days from social media, from friends, from workplaces, from family. I mean, all around school. If you go to school, I mean, all these places they've got agendas for our time and our money, and they've got opinions. And so in this information overload, I think there's a challenge in making a good quality assessment for a decision. You know, if we got an opportunity in front of us to maybe go live somewhere else in a different country, or maybe we have a new opportunity in the space of work to change careers, or maybe, you know, we're thinking about starting a family versus, you know, staying single. There's so many opportunities out there and so many different ways we can live and work and experience life and relationships these days that it can be tough to evaluate and make good quality decisions without some principles or some frameworks. And so that's what I want to talk about today, because I think that every person has a deep-seated need to live in congruence with their values and their best self. I believe one of the main drives of a human being is to live in alignment with who we think we want to be, with who we desire to be, you know, to live in accordance with our values. But it can be tough to feel aligned, to feel on track. And to feel like we're getting that sort of, you know, consistent satisfaction from life sometimes. And I think a lot of this is because we don't really know how to handle new opportunities coming our ways, and we don't know when to take advantage of them or to stick with what we're doing already. And that tension is tough to deal with. So let's unpack some ideas about how to make these decisions about evaluating opportunities for, you know, family, relationships, places of work, places of living, or whatever other opportunities we have in our lives. And I'll just start with a couple things that I think might be helpful in that process. And the first thing I would recommend in this process of making decisions is to cultivate contentment. To cultivate some contentment in your life. And yes, this can be done. I think that contentment is one of those things that people maybe think just kind of comes and goes as it pleases, but I believe this is something we can curate by making some decisions. And the first one is we gotta set browsing and social media and researching and analyzing and overthinking to the side for a minute. So when it comes to screens and distractions and comparison to other people, over analyzing the details of an opportunity, those things aren't actually helpful, and they do create a lot more fog than they create simplicity when making decisions. So what I recommend is to set all that aside for a second, put all the screens away, grab a journal, and start writing what you're grateful for. You know, what you're thankful for in your life. And just clear the palette a little bit. Just open up your mind to all the good things going on, all that you already have. As you're evaluating an opportunity, it's important to start from a place of gratitude for life and for the things that we have going on already. And this will create a really good platform and sort of fresh start for evaluating an opportunity in your life. Whether you take it or whether you say, you know what, I'm going to stick with what I got going on here. It's important to not be, in an overwhelmed, stressed out, sort of complicated mindset, but to let the palette be cleared for a second. So I would grab that journal and just start to breathe, write about some gratitude, and just cultivate some peace and contentment. And so once we got that going on, that's really awesome. We got to remember to, as well, second point, prioritize long-term meaning in our lives. So when evaluating decisions, we can either prioritize pleasure and stuff that we can gain next week, or we can think a little bit more long term. And obviously I think that prioritizing over the long term when making decisions about these opportunities is a lot better strategy. So do this, for example. Let's say you're evaluating an opportunity in your life, something that you could do to maybe, let's say, move to a different city, and you're wondering, is this something that I would like to do to uproot my life and kind of settle down somewhere else? I want you to think 10 years from now, You're sitting in a cafe with your spouse or your best friend, and this sentence kind of rolls out of your mouth. You say, man, I'm so glad I made the decision to blank, to move to that new city or to stay in your current city. So you've got two options in front of you, but thinking 10 years down the road, you're able to have a whole different perspective on making that decision. Because now you're not thinking about how it will help you or hurt you in the next week or so, how, it'll be fun because there's great places to eat there next week if you move there, but, whatever. You're thinking, man, does this decision to move align with my values, my mission, who I want to be in my life? Is it aligned with my true self to uproot myself or to stay here closer to family? And this is going to help shift a lot of the mindsets that I think people have about decisions which are a little bit short-sighted. Along the same lines, when you're making a decision, don't prioritize short-term control at the expense of long-term fulfillment and joy. So what a lot of people will do is they'll, for example, take the comfortable salary because it provides stability now at the expense of their long-term mission. Because maybe they say, I want this job so I can get some steady income, but what's also an option is to maybe earn a little bit less money now, but have more time for your passion and your mission in life that you really want to go after. It could also look like, for example, someone could be making a decision to prioritize control by not researching that year abroad they want to do, traveling and working overseas, because they feel like they're just going to create too many issues and it's just never really going to happen. I mean, these are sad examples of someone prioritizing short-term control and stability at the expense of the future. Every opportunity has a cost, but don't sacrifice your future just to have a little bit more stability in your life right now. I mean, this is real life. This is the only shot we got, and we can't be prioritizing little bits of control in the short term overly to at the expense of something long-term and meaningful that aligns with who we really want to be. So that's the second thing, prioritize long-term meaning. The last thing is to create space for passion in your life. When we're evaluating an opportunity, one of my favorite ways to look at it is, does this opportunity, if I were to take it, expand or contract passion in my life? Does it create more space for doing what I love or less space in my life? I think so many people overcomplicate passion, and I think it's for someone else, and only a few people really get to engage in passionate activities every day of the week. But it really is simple. I mean, you think about what was the last time you got up in the morning excited about something? You just couldn't wait to start a project or get to an activity. What was the last time you stayed up late past your bedtime because you were doing something fun that you just couldn't stop doing and you didn't notice the time passing? Or maybe that it was a project that you couldn't stop thinking about even when you're doing other stuff. Like, things that spark joy in our lives are what we're passionate about. It's not complicated. Maybe you haven't found it yet, and that's okay. But things that spark joy, things that motivate us to do an excellent job and to deliver with excellence and quality, a quality outcome, and things that inspire us to finish, and kind of projects that finish themselves and we don't really have to get prodded to get them done. Those are the things that are passion in our life, and those are the things that are important to expand and create more space for. And so when you're thinking about, should I take this opportunity to shift careers? Does that career give you more opportunity to work in a passionate state, or does it give you less? And this will help you to make that decision. Really, really important, and I hope that'll serve you. So grab the journal again and just start writing down at least 2 things, 2 times in your life, 2 activities, 2 projects where you just couldn't wait to get to them because they were so fun and they just motivated you to do a great job, and that'll help kind of filter the decision you're making, whatever it is. So those are the 3 things. I hope they give you some perspective and help you to make the decision in your life right now, or maybe a future one coming up. These frameworks I use to help me whenever I'm facing an opportunity to either move in a different direction or to stick with what I've got going on already, because there's room and space for both in our lives, of course. But hey, let me just tell you, you're doing better than you think. You're doing an awesome job. I believe in you, and I'm just so grateful that you would allow me to be with you and part of your journey on the way to growing and becoming a better version of yourself. I'm super grateful. Maybe see you in the next video. In the meantime, stay awesome. Thank you so much for watching. As always, it's my mission to give you tools that help you hit your goals and improve your life. It's an honor to be a part of your journey. Hey, do me a favor too and smash that like button on this video. I would so appreciate it. And let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'll see you next time.